Okay, so what we're going to demonstrate here is just a pretty standard taping job to support ligaments on the outside of the ankle. Things you always want to be wary about with any tape job is that you try and minimize the chance for tape cuts. And the spots that they're going to most likely happen is in around the Achilles area and through front of ankle. So I want to stay clear of the more prominent tendons here and be really wary about cutting tight at the back of the ankle. I tend to strap with the 50mm rigid, just a personal preference, but you certainly can strap with 38, and if you've got quite a small ankle, you may choose to do a 38 instead. First, loop around the anchor. Want to do it about 1/3 of the distance between foot and knee, and I'll tear that tape off and just make sure I don't pull and occlude at the ankle too much. And then making sure as I lay the next bits of tape that the ankle is held at about 90 degrees of bend. I'll also, with these next lot of strips called your stirrups, fan them a little bit. So the first of the stirrups, I'm going to start on the inside. I'm going to start a bit more towards the front aspect of the ankle, come under the heel, which will naturally mean the direction I end up in leads me to have the tape on the outside more towards the back aspect of the ankle. And then the next stirrup I'm going to do, I'm going to start more towards the back of the ankle, should end up coming around underneath the foot at the same point, but the natural angle will leave me heading a little bit more towards the front aspect of the ankle. What that gives you is just a bigger base that the stirrups create for the next next strips of tape to lay down on. Okay, and so making sure if you feel that the foot's coming out of that 90 degrees at any stage, readjust and get your patient to do that. Now, to support these lateral ligaments or ligaments on the outside of the ankle, the next strips we're going to do is what's called a figure 6. And just like that last stirrup I did, I want to start more towards the back of the ankle, lay that down, come underneath the base of the foot. I'm going to tear off the tape at the depth and distance that I think, and then making sure that I don't let that tape migrate too close to the front of the ankle. I want to keep it more towards the back, and the natural path of the tape should mean the tape then comes back and finishes in a pretty similar spot to where I've started it. Then I'm going to do the reverse of that. So I'm going to start, I'll get him to pull up a little bit, start more towards the back aspect of the ankle, come underneath at the same point, and that tape then comes over the front and has me finish in a very similar spot to where I've started. And then because I'm supporting, in this instance, the outside of the ankle, I'm going to do an extra strip in that direction. And depending on what you're trying to achieve for each of these individual strapping jobs, if you're supporting the ankle equally, you might choose to do 2 6s in each direction. If you're doing a light strap, you might do 1 in each direction, but that is going to hold him pretty snug. And then doing the anchor again to finish, back over where we started. You've also got an option here of even making that tape a little bit tighter. Now, this is completely optional, but in some instances you might end up doing a second anchor a little bit lower. You do just need to be wary that you're not then cutting close to that Achilles tendon.